And so many of the great ulama of al-Islam came from this land of Al-Andalus. Ibn Hazm, rahimahullah, Al-Qurtubi, rahimahullah. Ibn Hazm, rahimahullah, no doubt one of the greatest scholars of the Ummah. A man who had said his intelligence, you wouldn't find anyone else in his time or the times after him that was comparable to him. And these were people who, many of them were actually converts. Many of them were converts who lived in the land of Al-Andalus. So this time was no doubt a great point of the Ummah. That even the kuffar, if they wanted to learn, like today, if you want to get a great education, you say, I'll send my children to Harvard or Yale or one of these Kafir universities. You find, unfortunately, in our days, it might not entirely be like this in Australia, it is to a large degree, but in many of the Muslim countries, when a student gets 100%, he gets a scholarship to go to Britain. He gets 90%, put him into medicine. 80%, put him into law. Keeps on going down. When he gets 10%, send him to the Islamic university. It's saddening, but I'm telling you, this is the reality. I remember when I was in Egypt, I'd had some classes with some of the students from Singapore in Al-Azhar. And I found, subhanAllah, a lot of these students who were studying in Al-Azhar, they've been there for 5 years. They're almost finished their diploma. They can't even speak Arabic. When it comes to wudu and the fiqh of wudu, they don't know anything. You question them, how many sunnah prayers are there for Asr? He has no idea. So you've been here for 5 years and you know nothing. And why did you come here? And he says, I wanted to get into medicine, but my results weren't good enough, so I was sent to the Islamic university. Even in Australia, you'd find, some of the universities overseas, they'll just accept anyone. Can you write your name? Yes, mashallah, get a scholarship to go overseas. This is a problem. That we have to make sure that we're sending the right people to go study. We don't just send anybody. When you see, mashallah, they excel, they get very good grades, they're the ones that we should be putting into the Islamic universities, so that we're getting the best of people with a proper understanding of the religion. So the legacy of Al-Andalus was immense. The amount of scholars that came from this land was unparalleled to many of the other lands. And the Muslims, when they began to, as we said, conquer Al-Andalus, they didn't just stop there. They didn't just stop at Spain. They conquered a large part of France. And they began to go into France, because at this time, after the fall of the Roman Empire, all of Europe was weakened. So all of a sudden you had the Muslims coming in this way, and Muslims coming in from the south of Italy. And the Muslims of Al-Andalus, they met the French at a battle that is called the Battle of Poitiers. And this battle, according to some historians, they debate over the significance of this, but especially the non-Muslim historians, they say, had of the Muslims been victorious in this battle, today all of Europe would have been Muslim. That was the last line of defense. The Christians put everything they had. They were led by their leader, Charles Martel, and they were able to beat the Muslims. And the historians, I say, had we not defeated them at that time, we would be praying in masjids today, and all of our universities would have minarets. So we see the power that the Muslims had. That qadr Allah allowed it to be so that they didn't continue into